Okay, all right. Hello and welcome. You are here for how to build AI skills for your career in 2026. My name is Albert, founder of Albert's List. You'll learn about me in a quick moment. And you're here today on this wonderfully warm California Thursday afternoon. If you're here to learn AI, this place is for you. If you're a beginner, even better. We're going to talk a little bit about what the trends mean and what to note of. In the meantime, this webinar is being recorded. Feel free to introduce yourself in the webinar chat and feel free to let us know where you're dialing in from and share your LinkedIn profile. Um, Let me see. My speaker should be on. Oh, wait, is it not working all of a sudden? Uh-oh, that's not good. Microphone. Can you all hear me? My speaker does work. Okay. All right, cool. It does work. Thank goodness. Okay. All right. Wonderful. So, yes, welcome to How to Build AI Skills for Your Career in 2026. My name is Albert. I'm the founder of Albert's List. We're a job search, side hustle, and AI education organization located here in the San Francisco Bay Area and beyond. And today we're here talking about all things AI as they relate to your career. And it's built for all skill levels, but especially for those of you who are novices and those of you who are somewhat experienced. If you'd like to put in the chat where you're dialing in from or your LinkedIn profile, would love to hear from you and also see where we are dialing in from. I think I see some people from New Zealand, from Australia, as well across the United States, and some late stragglers in from Europe. And if you are somebody who answered novice to your AI skills, I'd love to know what exactly made this your first webinar and why you haven't touched AI up until now, despite all the crazy things that are going on. And also, if you are typing into the webinar chat, make sure you are typing to everyone and not hosts and panelists. That way, everybody can see you and what it is that you are saying. So a little about me. I'm the founder of Albert's List. I'm located in the San Francisco Bay Area and also split time on the Central Coast. By day, I'm a product marketing manager, and on the side, as sort of a passion, I guess, or a business here, I also run Albert's List. And so we founded Albert's List in 2013. It's a community with over 50,000 members here on Facebook. I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste that link here in case you would like to join. And I'm going to go ahead and actually add the HTTPS in front of it just so it can show up on Zoom as a link. The way we do webinars here is we definitely focus on the practical. We talk a little bit about the theory and the trends, and then we go into what works and what is different. I also use AI daily. I've built my own agents. I'm not going to be doing any demos today, but I am going to give away one of my repos on GitHub so you can give it a try and give it a shot and go ahead and fork it for yourself. So, we're going to talk about three really simple things today. Number one, I like to always go through the trends because it's interesting to talk about what's going on in the AI world. It's not sunshine and rainbows, but it is a very fascinating place to be. And so, we're going to talk about what's happening, why being AI fluent for your career is important, and why also some of the data that is out there in the market today may give you some pause and maybe give you even some relief, especially if you're worried about your job being taken by AI. Then we're going to talk about 5 ways to build AI skills for your career. Starting points that you can use to act upon this week to get started if you have not already. And maybe some of you have already done these things, and so hopefully that won't be a repeat. And then if you're looking to apply AI, I also want to provide you some upcoming Albert's List events where you can go and build and practice your AI skills live. Some of these are free events, other of these are premium events, and it's a chance for you to meet other people and then also build your skills from there. And those events are already live on Eventbrite, but I just wanted to also give that as a call to action since it is topical. So you're in the right place today is if you're somebody who, has heard about AI everywhere, but you're not entirely sure where to start. You're employed or you're not employed and you're worried about staying relevant as AI changes your industry. You're somebody who's dabbled a little bit in ChatGPT, Claude, Grok, Gemini, DeepSeek, and any of these other AI tools, and you're not sure about how to apply it into your day to day, or you're just using it as this like reference tool and you're looking up information and data, but you're not sure. whether it is something that you can build further, or you want practical, no hype guidance that really gets to the point of what AI is without overselling it or even underselling it. And I'm going to do my best to not oversell it or undersell it, right? Like you've already probably heard the phrase that AI won't take your job, but somebody who knows AI will. I think maybe the better way to look at it these days is that you won't lose your job to AI, just losing it to a company that is doubling down on its capital expenditures. And if you do somehow lose your job to AI, it's because maybe you weren't as fluent as the next person, but that also seems to be subjective. Brenda writes, I am an educational assistant working with special needs students. So far, no AI required in my job, and I think it's actually frowned upon in the field of education since we are trying to help our students develop critical thinking skills. I just want to know for myself more about AI because I think it'll eventually creep into your curriculum. Yeah, I'm gonna share with you the trends that are leading in AI today. I'm not necessarily gonna be talking about AI itself because maybe in some sense I do assume that people know that it's, a lot of data, a lot of software, a lot of machine learning, things of that sort. But AI is so deeply within our lexicon now, and it's moved from being science fiction and I guess in some sense also being very technical to something that everyone is working on. And so we're going to talk about some of these trends that are shaping AI in 2026. And some of these are going to matter to your career. Some of these are going to matter even broader than that. I think they all provide a really interesting place to be. And then we're going to go into ways that you can be practical about your AI work and what you do. And so the first thing is that AI is in this area where it's a wage premium for workers with AI skills. Workers with AI skills now command 62% higher wages than peers in the same role, according to a PwC study from last year. And that's up from 56% in 2025 and 25% in 2024. And so being AI or AI adjacent is something that is really becoming beneficial to those who are taking in a part of it. And even in LinkedIn's top five fastest growing job titles in 2026, four of those jobs are AI related. So if you are somebody who's in tech, somebody who's been a developer, somebody who wants to stay in tech, then this is something that you should absolutely consider, especially if you're looking at making that type of career transition. If you're someone today who is not really attached to tech like that, but AI is becoming a real piece of the type of work you do, then you might end up getting paid more because you are more AI fluent than your peers. And ultimately, of course, if you are somebody who is, I would describe as not AI whatsoever, maybe you're in education, maybe you're a healthcare worker, and maybe you're somebody who's watching this webinar while working your blue collar job and installing Windows or fixing a toilet, then AI may not necessarily matter at all there either, but your wages will go up because the field is being flooded with new people who want to avoid this potential mess of the AI world. But overall, the opportunity is real for those who can capitalize. 62% wage premium for workers with AI skills, according to a PwC study. The second trend is that AI is, in fact, going into everything, not just in technology. You may have noticed that all of the tools that you've used in the last couple of months are now all saying that I'm not just that they're the same tools that you've always loved and known, but now that they have AI attached to them. Customer support, marketing, HR, finance, healthcare, education, customer success. So, you might even be in a situation where you're interviewing with an AI while you try to get that next job. And so a demand signal for AI fluency is growing 20 times faster than the overall job market. And so we're starting to read a lot about these gaps in experience needed from employers versus the job skills that people possess. And so we may be heading into this era where we need more of these people to do this type of work so that the AI rollout does have the support that it requires. And of course, with all of that, it's important to consider what that baseline professional expectation is, whether it's the ability to actually code or whether it's just knowing that, AI is here and how to work with it and use it to become even more productive. The money is also staggering in AI. So we've heard a lot of AI because the PR for AI is huge, right? You've heard Dario, the CEO of Claude and Anthropic, talk about how AI is going to eliminate millions and millions of jobs and raise the unemployment rate. But what we're also seeing is what we said from earlier is that a lot of these companies are spending a significant amount of money on AI infrastructure. So a company like OpenAI is valued at $852 billion, but they only generated $20 billion in 2025, and they're projecting $14 billion in losses, with profitability not expected until the 2030s, and they're looking to go IPO. There's similar numbers for Amazon Web Services, Microsoft, and Anthropic as well, and also Oracle as they try to support the data center rollout. And why is it this way, actually, right? I think the important thing to note is that we're trying to grow AI the same way as we grew. Um, the same way we grew AI is the same way we grew Uber, Lyft, and all these other sharing economy tools. We're borrowing that same playbook. They're hoping that $200 gets you in the door, and then they're eventually going to raise it up to $200 so that they can make a profit once they go public. So they're going to privatize the gains, and hopefully the losses won't be socialized, but inevitably that'll probably happen at some level. And one of my favorite sites to visit lately is this site called isaiprofitable.com. This is a really fascinating and fun little site that was probably vibe coded by somebody. And what it does is it takes the amount of public data that people have put together and looks at how much money is being lost in the AI world. From companies like Amazon and Alphabet and Google, all the way out to Nvidia and Micron and some of these other companies. And so far, you can say, right, that $1.5 trillion of money has been spent, and $769 billion of industry revenue has been made. And it doesn't seem so bad until you realize that most of that industry revenue made is actually from Nvidia. And so what we learn, right, again, is the gold rush analogy of California from many, many years ago is that if you go to California to mine for gold, you're probably not going to land anywhere. But if you're there supporting the gold miners by selling the picks and the shovels, and in the case of the Levi's jeans fortune, jeans to people to go and work in the field, then you're probably going to make a lot of money along the way, and that's exactly what is happening. And so, yeah, with AI money being so staggering, it's also important to note that how much of this is just actually money being spent between the companies. OpenAI is buying computing power from Oracle. Oracle is buying chips from Nvidia. Nvidia is investing into OpenAI. OpenAI is buying chips from others, and they just all seem to keep buying from each other in the hopes that somehow all of this money is going to go in some certain direction. And so where this ends, who really knows? But there are fears now of cracks on the market. If you've looked lately, there's a lot of concern in the AI chip market with a lot of these companies selling off as they see that an AI bubble is forming. We also saw that earlier this year that a lot of companies that went on what they call the token maxing trend, where they were trying to spend as many tokens as possible, have realized that ROI has not uh, been accomplished at the level that people had hoped. And so we're getting to a point here where AI is really going to reach a point where it needs to reckon with itself, or rather, the companies that have invested so much into it. And so we're going to have to see where that goes. Christine says, what do you think it's wise to do career pivot to software engineering as future market demand changes? What do you think it is wise? Do I think it's wise to do a career pivot to software engineering? I think it ultimately depends on your skill level. I think that software engineering jobs, as I think Stanford showed earlier this year, has been eroded in the sense that we've seen a lot of AI take over some of these basic tasks, but for larger, more scalable needs, it hasn't shown its metal to be true. And so I would say at the end of the day, um, gauge your skills. Do a lot of informational interviews to see where you stand, and see where that might go for you. I would say if it's hard to get a software engineering straight out, look at tangential roles around it that can also work for you too. Um, what else? So AI has also jumped into the physical world. Uh, the other trend that's coming up is that AI and robotics are very much hand in hand. Tesla has promised to deploy 50,000 Optimus humanoid robots at some point. I changed that from 2026 because, as much as I think Elon Musk wants to promise that, it's probably not going to happen. And we also have consumer level robots now being sold for $16,000. And so we're getting to a point here where AI is making it into physical goods, manufacturing, equipment and things like that. And at some point, maybe the hope is that we'll all have robots doing our clothing, cleaning our clothing for us and doing our cooking. But it's really going to be interesting to see how this disrupts and how this changes the market as a whole. Trend number 5 out of 7 for those of you who might be out of work or maybe be the victim of an AI based layoff is something that you definitely want to hear is that 55% of leaders who laid off workers for AI now regret it. And we're getting to a point here where we saw a lot of layoffs earlier this year from a lot of companies, and then we also saw a lot of layoffs from the Magnificent Seven, the AI majors, as I like to call them, like about 30,000 or 16,000 from Amazon this year, 30,000 from Oracle. And they're all laying those folks off because of infrastructure needs. But some of these other companies are also having laid off and realizing that it's not such a good idea because AI wasn't able to help them accomplish what they wanted to do. Ford brought back 350 engineers. IBM had to bring back some engineers as well. Meta is being faced with a layoff because it's now been shown and that AI was responsible for choosing who to lay off without actually telling people who they were going to lay off. Customer service reps are also coming back too. So at the end of the day, 32% of US hiring managers who cut roles for AI literally rehired those same people back into those jobs. And so 32% is not zero. It's also not 100%, but it's just going to show that this AI mania that we're experiencing is not quite everything that people expected it to be in the first place, and that there's definitely more to it going along the way. And so this is another graphic, right? So the rehire rate is also something to consider. Technology is seeing a 32% rehiring rate. HR is 35% because, right? Who knew? HR involves human beings. And so if you're getting rid of human beings and having robots make those decisions, then there's some ethical implications to consider as well. Finance, 44%. And I'm sure that there are other industries that are just as high, and it's just something to be concerned about as we move into the months ahead. And I see that probably more rehiring rather, is going to happen later as we see AI continue to struggle to gain the type of ROI that it does at the scaled up level. But at an individual level, AI is doing a lot of fascinating things. And so we'll see where all this R&D and all this innovation ends up going to. The seventh trend that we have is that the future of work isn't exclusively technical for AI. I think that one of the things that we really want to make the point of is that, while there's a lot of software engineers and data scientists and product managers, there's also roles that matter elsewhere, such as AI coaches and strategists, compliance managers, and even managers that focus on ethical related work. One of the things that I've learned about AI in the work that I do is that explainability and governance are really, really big pieces because if you let AI go off and do its own thing, then it has the risk of making the wrong judgments, including laying off the wrong people. And you need a human in the loop at the very end in order to make those judgment calls and ensure that those judgment calls are sound and won't open up people to legal issues. And so that's actually the premise of a lot of how I see AI is that it is something that helps complement the type of work we do. It does not replace what we do because if it replaces what we do, then you take out human responsibility. And while there are some people in this world who would love AI to take away the responsibility from all of them, I think that is an abuse of technology. And so here are just some of the top AI roles that are expected to grow this year. If you're an entry level person and you are just graduating from college, These are some of the jobs, such as data annotation specialists, junior data scientists, and AI security analysts. Data annotation specialists have been especially fascinating because they've been in the news for the type of salaries that they offer and sort of kind of the up and down, I think, stability of that role. But, I would say because data is at the foundation of AI, data scientist roles tend to be the most interesting. If you're somebody who is more senior or maybe even more engineering based, there's a lot of AI developer and data scientist and engineering type roles that are available out there for you as well. And so now we come to part two of our webinar here, right? We want to talk about not just the trends that are leading to places, but how to build AI skills for your career. And some of you may be doing all of these already. If you are, feel free to react as I go through these slides. If you aren't, also type into the webinar chat what it is that may be keeping you back or telling me that you hadn't thought about it before. Um, it looks like we do have, I think, a couple, 13% of this room is experienced and experts. So hopefully I won't bore you along the way. But if you are somebody who's new here or you know a thing or two, I'd love to know what you think. And in particular, again, I'm also going to make this call one more time. If you're one of the 25% of this room right now that has not touched any AI tools yet, I'd love to also know what is it that's preventing you from wanting to touch AI, or what has kept you on the sidelines for so long, and what's potentially changing your mind today. Feel free to drop that in the webinar chat. And if you want to also answer it anonymously in the Q&A because you don't want everyone to know you, feel free to do that, put that there, and I can just read it as an anonymous person. All right, so number one is probably the simplest and the most basic, is to use AI as your personal research assistant. I have found that in the AI world, there is now something, at least for marketers, called AI optimization or AI discoverability. And so from the other side of this, this is what companies are beginning to use in terms of trying to be discovered online versus using Google. And you go to Google anyway and you search for something and you prompt it and it goes from, and you prompt it and it gives you recommendations based on how prominent somebody is in the market. And so using AI as your personal research assistant can take several ways, right? You can use it almost like you're using Wikipedia, but it's also in greater context and it's a conversational back and forth. I love asking about obscure, nuanced things, things that I might not have thought before. I love running simulations inside as a personal research assistant, and I think it's really interesting to work at it that way. Alternatively, you can use it as a career agent, which is what we're going to talk about in a few slides. You can upload your resume to Claude, ChatGPT, or Gemini, ask it to interview you and uncover career paths you hadn't considered, or build a side hustle from there. We have an anonymous attendee who said that they haven't touched any AI tools yet because they're wondering about how to pay for it and getting good value and which AI tool to use. Yeah, that's a good reason. And I think that, one thing to consider with that is that, there are a lot of AI tools out there and not all of them are created equal. I do like Claude for technical related things. I like ChatGPT for reference. Um, and I like Gemini if I want a Google point of view. And then there's other smaller tools that you want to use as well that might be interesting depending on what you're trying to do. I, for example, subscribe to 11 Labs for voice related work. I've also used Replit and subscribed to Replit for web development. And so it all comes down to the use case that you're trying to accomplish. And that could be actually the next piece here, which is to take a repeatable task and let AI do the first draft, right? So we all work and we do repeatable things every single day, whether it's answering email, doing research, putting together scripts for the videos that we upload to YouTube, competitive intelligence, and all of those kinds of things. And so AI can help you take that repeatable task and really automate it for you up until the point where your human judgment comes in. And so this is an area that I've been exploring a lot of in the last couple of months, where I've been creating YouTube scripts, creating automated LinkedIn post writers, and just finding ways to save hours and hours per week. And the result of that is that you for the amount of API credits that you spend versus the hourly rate that you would spend on someone helping you out with it, I've discovered the savings to be somewhere around the lines of 99.6%. Because if you're spending, let's say, $60 an hour to hire somebody, but the cost of that API run every single time is just 6 cents to put together research or do a briefing, then it is significant in that sense. And so today I'm actually going to gift you something that I've been building. This is what I call a software as a service career thought leadership agent. And this is something that I've been using a little bit to help me write LinkedIn posts when I don't feel like I have something to write about or I want to comment on the regular news. So go ahead and take this, go to that page, fork it for your own needs, and then drop the files inside of ChatGPT or Claude and ask it to explain the entire repo to you, and then build it to customize it to your own needs, so that you can be somebody who can build LinkedIn posts at your own scale, right? And so you might be wondering, like, how are it that some people just have something to say every day on LinkedIn? This is one of the ways that people are doing it now. They are getting it at scale, and I want to give this away to you for free. This is something that somebody might charge you 25, $30 for, and I just wanted you to leave with something. Yeah. So, yeah. So, Claude is not free. Claude is $20 a month. If you want to bypass the $20 a month script cost, you can also go ahead and just spend API dollars. But I would recommend at least getting one subscription so that you can have these things explained to you. All right. Way number three is to use AI to learn faster in your field, and also to just be overall more productive. I've used AI as a study partner to help my niece pick up concepts in seventh grade a lot faster, vocabulary words, math, history, and so forth. I've also used it to help me explain things to me. So if I'm reading an article and nothing makes sense, I do it that way. I also use it as a learning prompt and as a productivity prompt to ensure that I get things off the ground when it comes to writing blog posts, putting together websites and so forth, and building job search strategy. Yeah. Yeah, and Jubaid is talking about how you can also build imagery and graphics as well using AI. So, if you have a really powerful graphics card, like an NVIDIA 490 or 480 RTX, you can build realistic images and pictures of people and movies that you can use to go viral on social media and so forth as well. Number four is to build your career toolkit with AI. Your whole entire job search infrastructure, from your resume, career letter, cover letter, LinkedIn, interview prep, networking strategy, and more, can be built faster and better with AI. And so we do this in a monthly webinar that we do that is called How to Strategize and Execute Your Job Search with AI in 1 hour. And all of these things are now faster. I remember um, 5 years ago, before ChatGPT became a thing, preparing for a job search was an arduous 3 month process where you have to think about what it is that you want to do, what events you need to attend, and then putting it all together and executing it. And sometimes having to run it all from your brain because you hadn't written it down. And the difference now is that AI has completely changed that game by allowing you to upload your resume and then figuring out what the possibilities are from there. All right. Michael says, Albert, have you fully migrated from ChatGPT to Claude, or you still use Chat here and there? So I use ChatGPT and Claude. I use both of them. And so I use them both for different purposes. I also share a ChatGPT account with my fiance and her nonprofit. So we're still very much invested over there. All right, number five is to build something that you can show. So, one thing that I've always discovered in career tracks is that wherever you are in the world of trying to get into the next place that you want to be, you need to demonstrate that you can do something before you do that something at work. And so, whether that's a custom GPT, even the basic agent that I showed you, an automated workflow, a vibe coded website or mobile app, that tangibility beats any certificate or certification that you can get to show you what it is that you're capable of doing. A custom GPT takes 20 minutes to build. You put in what it is that you want it to do. You attach documents to talk about what it is that um, attach documents to have it read from there and use it as sort of its basis of as a brain and go from there. Or you can use Claude to create a personal career coach. You feed it your resume, your goals, your voice, and they can hold you accountable over a several month process. Or let's say you're actually trying to work out and get fit. You can also build a similar app that will do similar types of things. Or you can build a web or mobile app on Cursor or Replit. And there's a couple of other tools out there as well, but those are some of the major tools to follow. AD asks, how do I get an API key? So, depending on which platform you're on, you're going to go into the API docs and they're going to tell you how you can build an API key and then connect your API key to the app that you're building so that ultimately those connectors can charge you for the amount of AI that you're using. Lisa says, do you have any resources for privacy and security best practices when using these tools? Yes, I do. So if you're not willing to give away your contact info, I would scrub that. I would also not talk to ChatGPT about anything private because that can be used against you in court. ChatGPT also recently launched a connector the other day that connects to your financial information. So if you want ChatGPT to give you financial advice while telling you that it is not financial advice, you can now do that. But I would also not recommend that you connect your bank account information into ChatGPT because you never know if there will be privacy breaches or anything of that sort. And so if you want to upload things where your name or your social security number are wiped clean, then you are going to, then doing that would be the best way to go about it. So yeah, anything that is private, don't share it. Anything that is compromising to your personal information, such as your financial information or social security number, don't let that go out there either, because it's all going to be, it all could be exposed somewhere down the line. And so here are a couple of things that I've built on AI using AI. One of them is on the left. It's my fiance's website for her professional work. She is somebody who works in the political and community organizing space. And so I built her a website that otherwise in a previous iteration of the world would probably have taken me 3 to 4 months to put together. This took all of maybe 1 to 2 hours. Another one that I've built, and for those of you who are on the central coast of California, and for those of you who are in California who want to go for a wine weekend, I own and built Paso Robles Food Trail. So, yeah, Della's Pizza. Yeah, so Steve, I was thinking of you for this one. So I vibe coded Paso Robles Food Trail. And what it is, it's basically a itinerary builder for those who want to come out here into the Central Coast. I've had 181 itineraries created, totaling 301 days spent in Paso. And basically, what I can do here is I created this little thing where if I wanted to come here to the place where I live for the weekend, let's say I'm here for a long weekend, my days start at 10 a.m. and end at 9 p.m. And I want it to be a moderately priced trip. And I'm interested in Italian, farm to table, and American food and that I am a casual drinker of wine and I want to see as much as possible over these 3 days, I'm going to have it automatically build my itinerary for me, right? So I want you to give this a shot if you haven't before. And you can also go ahead and you can share that itinerary and send it to people over text message, or you can start right over. And I haven't really built out the blog. I do have an FAQ here and I do have an about page. But the whole thing about this is you can build these things in literal minutes compared to the hours to months that it was before. Oh, yeah, shoot. I am not showing my app. Wow. Let me do that because I think it would be fun if I did. Here we go. So let me go ahead and do that, right? So we're going to go back to the home page here. You can see that we've created 81 itineraries over 301 days. And I'm going to go ahead and I can plan my trip. Let's say we're going to do a long weekend. We start our days at 9 a.m. and let's say because we're on vacation, we're going to end it at 8. And I want it to be a splurge of a vacation. We're going to go eat Italian, farm to table, and we're going to have barbecue. Actually, we're going to have American. And then what we're going to do is we're going to say we're really into wine and we want to make this as packed as possible. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to build the itinerary. And just like that, we have something that we can do all of those times that we're there. And so the reason why I make this as an example is because these are things that AI can now help you build that you otherwise may have taken a lot longer time to build in before. And that was actually built in Replit. I'm actually going to transfer a lot of the code into Claude in a little bit and run it from there because Replit does cost me $180 a year. Is there a place where I can find all the information that I've shared with ChatGPT or Claude? It would just be within the files that you have. And you can also quiz ChatGPT to ask if they remember what it is that is there. And go from there. Yes, Fable 5. Yeah, that is they keep on extending it, so it might be free after July 22nd as well. Yeah, so I used Replit to build both of these. I'm gonna probably transfer it to Claude Code at some point so that I can own more of the end-to-end and then host it on Cloudflare. Michael says, how much backend support or engineering effort was needed for your app? I know it can sometimes get heavy or cost for domains for server space aside from the domain. So I have zero backend support and zero engineering effort. It was literally me typing into a prompt and then having the what you see is what you get being built and then go from there. And so, yeah, if you have no web coding experience and you don't want to fuss around with, say, WordPress, then this is how you can build it and what you can do. So now that we've talked about the 5 things that you can do, I want to go into part 3, which is upcoming Albert's List AI events. So we do a lot of webinars focused on career work and also AI work here within our community. And what I want to do when I do these is to offer you a practical next step to really put AI into practice so that all the people who you see are showing off on Twitter and LinkedIn and your Facebook page, you can join them and be somebody who has these skills as well. And so, what we have this coming Direct Monday is 2 hours to freedom. Build a job hunt AI agent with Claude. It is from 2 to 4 p.m. and it is actually a $27 course. And what we're going to do in that one is we're going to have a hands-on workshop where we help you build a job search copilot that jobs hunts while you sleep. You're going to learn how to structure prompts and walk away with a working example of how to look for your next job. And so, if you're interested in an event like that, I'm going to go ahead and also copy the link and drop it into the chat here so that you can register for it. Or you can point your phone and point at the QR code and go straight to the website URL. On July 27th, we're doing 2 hours to freedom, how to build a fleet of AI agents for work. If you saw that GitHub that I showed you earlier, we're going to be doing that, and I'm going to show you how to build it manually. Because I want you to see how easy it is to build the concept of what those are. Right. So we're going to build a few things. We're going to build that personal branding agent, kind of like what we did before. We're going to do a competitive intelligence agent to monitor how competitors are doing. And we're also going to create a YouTube script content generator. And each of these can all save you up to almost 20 hours to 30 hours a week. And so if you think about your hourly rate and you multiply that by 20, or you think about what it costs to multiply a consultant to do that work for you and you being able to do it for cents on the dollar, then being able to learn how to do this stuff is going to really bring your independence. Anne asks, do we need to subscribe to a Claude plan for the first webinar? Yes, you do. You are going to need some kind of AI plan for really any of these to follow along. So, yeah. And if you want to use the free version, you can, but you're definitely going to be capped. August the 3rd, we're going to do how to use AI to turbocharge your personal brand in 2026. So you might see people who are now on Instagram or TikTok with an AI version of themselves talking about what it is that they do or providing advice and tips, and they look really realistic. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to offer you a window into that opportunity on August the 3rd. And we're going to talk about what all that personal branding means. We're going to talk about how N8N and Comfy UI can take all of your career assets into LinkedIn posts and videos that look very real. We're going to show you how AI can build those workflows that generate content from what you already have and help you build your personal brand so that instead of having to post and think about something every single day, you can schedule things ahead, you can work through it, and you can build those skills with AI that'll help you get you to that next opportunity faster. And so this is a free webinar because we want to show to you what it is that is possible and then go from there. So I invite you to that as well. August the 6th, we're doing how to build an eBay reselling side hustle with AI in one weekend. This is also a free webinar. This webinar focuses on eBay as a side hustle. And so, one of the things and one of the ways to make money these days is to take things off of Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist and flip them for more money. And the reason why a lot of people do this is because it's fairly easy if you know what to look for, and you're able to sell things that you originally bought for cheap for a whole lot more. And so Charles Costa leads this one, and he's going to show you how AI can work to help you take that to the next level. And so if you've been doing e-commerce sales for a long time, this can be something of a boon for you. And if you're doing this for the very first time, it could be something that makes you income while you look for that next job. August the 11th, we're doing how to strategize and execute your job search with AI in 1 hour. And so for this one, I use Claude, I use a little bit of Gemini and Grok and ChatGPT as your personal job search strategist. So what I do is I show you how you can use prompts to create an entire 90-day job search strategy. And if you want it to be longer, 90 days, 180 days, 365 days, where we look at events and conferences, who you can network with, what companies that are hiring. It really gives you that sprint document that you need to really be successful at your job search. And why that's important is because job hunting has to take place faster than ever. No longer do you have the 1 month, 2 months, maybe even 2 weeks to sit around and think. If you can do this in an hour, then you can be successful. And what's more important is I'm also looking for a volunteer. And so if you're somebody who wants to step up and do this, reach out to me privately and I can add you to this webinar as a co-host so that we can show you just how easy it is to do this. And I won't even have looked at your resume beforehand, and I'll show you how much faster AI can help you get there. And then finally, on August the 20th, we have how to build AI skills for your career with vibe coding in 2026. You saw those websites earlier that we had all the way up here. And we're going to talk to you about how you can do that or build web apps or build software applications with my friend Scott Simpson, who's the founder of AI Marketing World. He's going to explain to you what vibe coding is and show you how you can go from idea to prototype to MVP in mere days, not months, with zero coding experience, right? And so remember, I also built all these websites and all these apps without any coding experience either. And if somebody like me who has a marketing background can do it, you can do that too. And so you're going to be able to learn how to use AI skills to translate into career leverage, consulting, or side projects because all of you have ideas and all of you are incredibly qualified. And so I want to offer you all of that opportunity. Vibe coding, Katie, is essentially using what you type into an AI prompt field and and just going off of what you feel like feels really good. So, for example, if I go ahead and I do this live right now, I think you're gonna find this to be kind of fascinating. So, if I'm gonna go ahead and stop share, and I'm gonna reshare into my other screen here. This is Replit. So Replit is what I've been talking about a little bit here. I'm going to sign into this via Google. And what you could literally do is you could literally type and say, I want you build a website for a taco stand in Paso Robles, California called Albert's Tacos. Add a checkout button and a menu to the page, right? And so what this does now these days is it literally builds this for you and gives you everything while you do it. So while I talk here, hopefully it'll just yeah, we're okay. We're not going to get a domain, but it's currently working on this. And in the next 3 to 5 minutes, you can generally have a working prototype. And what you do, because we've also have other projects in the past, is that you can also you can also basically take what you have. So this is the Paso website here, right? And you can type into here and say, I like this, I did not like that. Here's what I want to do differently, and so forth and so on, right? And you can preview it and you can touch zero code whatsoever if you don't want to touch it. And so that's what I describe as vibe coding. Let's see if they've built anything for my taco website stand. Can you do that in Figma code, Claude code? You can do it in Claude code. Claude code, you still need to find some place to host it. Oh, and yeah, if you want $20 in credits, I'm just gonna go ahead and drop that here so you can get started. Um, and so yeah, you can do it in Claude Code. You just have to kind of find a place to host it. Replit will host your websites for you. If you build your website in Claude Code, then you'll have to run it off of Cloudflare. I don't know what the situation is with Figma. So I'm not entirely 100% sure. Um, yeah. So it's building all of these now. Okay, great. So you can do it in Figma. Yeah. I'm not a design person, but I'm glad to hear that's also doable there. Great. Yeah. So once you built these websites, you can publish them directly from here. If you have a domain name, you can connect it directly. Using Cloudflare and through Claude is free. Replit is a $180 a year subscription. I plan to cancel this subscription, but that's just me because I'm trying to lower the amount of AI that I spend money on because I spend so much every single year. Um, so yeah. So this is building it. I don't know how long it'll take. I think it'll only take another minute longer before I at least get a first look. If I probably didn't add the checkout button, it probably would be done by now. But yeah, this is just along the lines of if you're thinking that you have a problem that you want to solve or that you want to act really creatively, then this is going to be a chance for you to do something even better. How much do you pay Replit? So Replit will host the little website for free. You still need to get your own domain name, which will cost you probably $12 to get one. And so if you divide the 180 by 12, that's 15. It's probably $16 to run your website, but it also depends on how much traffic your website gets. So they will probably meter your web traffic if you aren't able to get it done. If you aren't able, if your website becomes really popular really quickly. You do not have to get the domain name from Replit. I have all my domain names at namecheap.com. And so when I go to publish here, what I basically do is if I go into the settings, um, I have to have a domain name thing here, domains, right? So I can connect the domain here and then figure it out from there. Or I can get, I guess, yeah, tacovibe.app for free and then renews at $17 a year. Yeah, this is not a live website yet because I don't have it done. So if we're doing what are we calling it? Alberts-taco-menu.replitapp.com. Um, I mean, maybe I could publish it and just see, right? Um, it's not even done yet, but yeah, let's see here. Oh, okay. Um, let's see. We'll come back to it later. Albert Tacos menu. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, and Chris, who is leading our Claude Code workshop on Monday, is here in the chat. If you have any questions, he will be the lead instructor, and I encourage you to talk to him. So we started this 4 minutes ago, and as of 4 minutes into this, we have a working prototype, right? So this is just to give you that idea, right? And so we can go ahead and copy and paste this link in there. No fuss, just fire. Central Coast worst kept secret. Yeah, so right, this is something that you can build. And so if you're thinking about this, right, from a business standpoint, there is nothing stopping you from saying, you know what? I'm in my little town. There's a bunch of small businesses, taco shops, gas stations, cafes, diners, maybe the landscaper, who all don't have a website. And you might have zero coding experience, but you know how to vibe code because you know what makes a great website because you have taste and you have style. And so you can build this in mere minutes. And in mere minutes, you can have a prototype standing. And obviously, I have to go and edit this and update it. I can upload my photo and say, hey, add a photo there and so forth. I need to add an address, hours, contact information. But these are all things that you can add post after the fact. And that'll let you what am I saying here? And that'll let you be creative, it'll let you be entrepreneurial and be effective in the type of work that you do. All right, cool. So that's just that right there for the time being. You all just saw how Replit can work. Am I getting any juices flowing? Am I getting you inspired for what the possibilities may be for some of these upcoming events and what we can do together? Type yes in the chat if you agree. Type maybe if you don't think so. Let's see. We have a question in the Q&A. Can you sell old used items with an eBay side hustle? Yes, you can. As long as those items are in good condition and can and somebody can buy it without feeling doubtful about it. Rita, you want to be a volunteer? Yes. Send me an email and let's do it. Okay, so you want to go to the Claude Code event. Yes. So let me go back onto my Eventbrite page here. The Claude Code event is right here. All right. What's the difference between eBay and other online resellers? There really is no difference. I mean, you can resell these things on Craigslist. You can sell them on Poshmark, Facebook Marketplace, Vinted, Depop. It's all the same concept. And what you really are just trying to do is figure out what's in demand and then resell those items and then resell those items and then make way more profit than when you bought them initially. So hopefully, right, you can buy an AI, not an AI, but like a tech company T-shirt for $5 and flip it for 35 and take the remaining $25 after taxes and then just, build that at scale. Yeah. Okay. So before you leave, as we get to the end of this webinar, you may be wondering, okay, I just got a ton of information about AI. What in heavens am I doing next? And there's a lot of things that you can do next because, AI can be very overwhelming. That's why we have so many events because there's so many ways to skin this cat. The first thing that you can do if you haven't considered it yet is upload your resume to Claude or ChatGPT, Gemini or Grok, or any of these major AIs. You could even do DeepSeek in one of these open source ones that you want. Have it interview you, uncover career paths, and maybe even help you discover the side hustle that you hadn't thought that you would work. This could take 10 minutes, it could take an entire hour, but you're going to discover a lot about yourself. Number two is to pick one weekly task and let AI figure out how it can automate it so that you can buy your time back and go do something else with your life and day. It could be something from creating a presentation, like what Claude can do, to writing emails, to doing research, everything in between. Number three is to ask AI to teach you something in your field. Have it teach you the basics, have it explain to you an article, have it explain to you something complex. Number four is to register for at least one upcoming event on Albert's List. And if you've registered for another event upcoming, because we've dropped a lot of links here, type yes in the chat so I know that I will be seeing you in a few days up to the next month. Um, then this could be everything from building your personal brand to building an agent to job search to learning how to vibe code to anything in between. And we actually have a couple of more webinars coming up as well that we want you to be a part of. And then number five is to join Albert's List. We've got 50,000 members. We've got real people, real coaches, real professionals, and real opportunities. And so if you're looking to join a community that gives back to each other and is interested in investing in you, then go to the link that I just shared. And so, with that said, the time to start is now. I want to thank you again for your time over the last 55 minutes. AI is in an interesting area, but it is not waiting. It's going to evolve into something else. And wherever you are, whether you're a beginner, whether you're somewhat experienced, or whether you are experienced and an expert, now is the time to pick up these skills or at least get informed about what these skills can provide you so that you can be powerful in your career, powerful as an entrepreneur, and powerfully pursuing your dreams and what it is that you want to do. And so, with that, my webinar is complete. I want to thank you all for your time. I'll take a couple of questions if there are any. Uh, if not, yeah. Do I have any promo code for the checkout? I'm not a Replit partner. I've signed up to do that, but they've never gotten back to me. So I don't have anything for Replit. When will the recording be ready? The recording will be ready. Give me a day. Hopefully less than a day, but hopefully a day. Cool. Yeah, Katie, good to meet you. I'm thankful that this was beneficial for you. Thank you, Ash. Thank you, Sumin. Thank you, Francois. Cool. All right. So, and finally, I guess if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, feel free to go here and connect with me there. If you need my email because you want to be a future volunteer for one of these webinars, um, it is in the chat. All right. So, yes, thank you all so much for your time today, and we will be back another day to help you get further in your AI skills and to help you take yourself to the next level. Oh, thank you, Anne. One of the best AI webinars you have attended. Yeah, that's going to make me feel really great this week. Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay. All right. Talk to you all soon. Have a wonderful weekend. Stay cool, and we'll see you again soon. Bye, everybody.